It's like a horror movie out here. We've got helicopters everywhere. The roads are parking lots. It's like we're all trying to exit town and there's no gas, no power.
Our entire planet is run by a satanic, psychopathic cult. The Vatican is actually Luciferian. Here's a picture of Pope Francis with his staff.
So the fallen angels rebel against God, led by Azazel, Shemahaza, Satan. They come down to Mount Hermon and interface with Enoch. They teach men the ways of pharmacology, astrology, war, and sorcery.
Hollywood is the agency of Satan. Its function, whether they know it or not, they probably don't know this, is to amplify ideas that cause division, suffering, commodification, objectification, these kind of things. That's what it's for.
Welcome back to the Wizard's Fish. Not going to waste any time today, just going to jump straight into things as usual, so viewer discretion is advised, and everything that you see in here is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get into it.
This is not Christianity or Catholicism. This is paganism and occultism. What the? That is allegedly the skull of Saint Agatha. You ever wonder why the Vatican and the Pope wear these little Jewish yarmulke hats? It's because Constantine hijacked the Catholic religion and he started incorporating ways of the pagans and paganism into the Catholic Church. Constantine is the Roman emperor who originally built the old Vatican. The Catholics under Constantine's rule practiced paganism and the Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism. Remember, early Christianity and Catholicism were considered cults. Tens of thousands of kids have been abused by Catholic priests. And it just so happens to be 330,000. You get your 33 right there, their little calling card. And they are all working for the hidden hand. They say the eyes are the window to the soul. And something about this guy's eyes seems off to me.
Evil.
Fish hat that the Catholic Pope wears can be traced back to Ons or Oannes, which is a Babylonian god who is thought to be sent by the gods to give knowledge to the humans by doing rituals or sacrifices. Another symbol for the fish hat is Dagon or Dagon. Dagon is another ancient Mesopotamian pagan god. And Dagon is the father of Baal. You can find these ancient Babylonian symbols at the temple of Ninurta in Nimrud. Ninurta is another Mesopotamian god said to be correlated with the god Kronos or Kronos. So it all goes back to Saturn worship. Just look at this resurrection statue of Jesus in the Vatican. It looks to me like a snake head. Look at the audience hall. It looks exactly like a serpent's face. The serpent in the Bible represented the devil. They're putting it right in your faces. And the reason why they're putting it right in your faces is because they have to get your consent. Once they get your consent, they believe that is how the magic works. The magic of the occult, the magic of the Kabbalah, magic with a K. And they always get your consent just like they always get you with the terms and conditions. They call it magic. Me and you would call it demonic, evil, wicked, witchcraft, mysticism. That is why I don't trust religion, because religion is man-made. Not everything in the Bible is true, because it was also written by man. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that Jesus was born on December 25th. But Nimrod was born on December 25th. Nowhere in the Bible does it say to decorate an evergreen tree, but the pagans did to worship Nimrod. We need to wake up and realize that we've been being lied to our whole lives.
All right. You see this, right? Now we know that Obama faked everything, which I don't know how you people couldn't see through that shit. He was married to a man. He lied about his wife. He faked his birth certificate. He was born in Africa. He wasn't born American. He should have never been president. He faked his children. They were surrogates by somebody else. He said they were theirs. Mike even made stories about when she was pregnant and shit. I mean, this is pure clown show, theater type shit. But here's what you don't see.
Stop eating.
There is no way in the world Obama did this shit without the government. And Obama, when he was a child, was in a camp interlocking with Bill Barr, A.G. Barr, Jim Jordan, F. Children, Epstein, and John Podesta. They were all children together in a camp in Interlochen in Michigan. Check that shit. It's common knowledge.
I have a pet peeve of like loud chewing. I don't even like the sound of myself eating. And yeah, man, don't be chewing like that when you're making videos. Like, I know sometimes I'll eat candy, but it's not while I'm talking.
So that means they groomed Obama in America as a child. That means that this covert Luciferian Islamist, because you know he's a Muslim, right? And Islam is the same as Luciferianism and communism, all demonic doctrine. That means our government helped Obama get into office. That means our government is trying to destroy the United States. There's no hope. Because it's our government destroying the United States. There's no way in the world they didn't know that they had Obama in a camp as a child, brainwashing him with MK Ultra. No way. People know everything. And that means it's our government destroying our government. There's no way around that shit, Dr. G.
And hard work, never really realizing that they sold out in order to sell us out. I've gone over these black secret societies in other videos. I spoke directly about Prince Hall Freemasonry, and I spoke directly about the Black Boule. Two topics that are extremely important if you want to understand these black secret societies. Again, please know that the secret is not that they exist, but the secret is what they actually do and what they believe in and what they practice. Organizations are known for keeping secrets, and they are the source of power in the secular black community. What goes very overlooked is the recruitment tool that's used for these secret societies like the Black Boule. In the black community, the majority of us know about these black collegiate Greek fraternities and sororities. I'm talking about the Alphas, the AKAs, the Kappas, the Deltas, the Omegas, etc. But though we know about them, we know very little about the first black Greek fraternity, the Black Boule, Sigma Pi Phi. This is the first black Greek fraternity in the country, the first pillar of black history after Prince Hall Freemasonry in the black community. But I guarantee if you surveyed a majority of black Americans, they wouldn't be able to tell you much about this group. Most people don't even know that they exist. This is true because, again, like I was saying, there are black secret societies and they hold power in the black community. Most of the prominent black men in the black community are Boule and they're proud of it, which is why LeBron James tattooed their symbol on his body. It's right in plain sight, but because we operate in ignorance without knowledge, it is seen but not known or understood. But listen, this subject is not about the Boule. The point is that in order for the secret society of the Boule to function, to grow, and to operate, they needed a way of recruitment so they can continue to grow throughout our generations without the masses knowing. And their most primary recruitment tool are the black collegiate Greek fraternities that were formed after Sigma Pi Phi came into existence. The Black Boule is a postgraduate, after college, professional organization that they established and accomplished Negroes were secretly a part of, but the way that they kept their membership growing is they formed these minor black collegiate Greek organizations that they always could gather and recruit the talent that they desired. You won't find a Black Boule member that was not already part of the Greek collegiate fraternities. Most people think these fraternities and sororities are just part of our history. They feel that they were a way that black people formed camaraderie in order to combat oppression and segregation. And don't get me wrong, they definitely are. But they are so much more than that. It's time that we all understand the black collegiate Greek fraternities and sororities known as the Divine Nine.
It's like a horror movie out here. We've got helicopters everywhere. The roads are parking lots. It's like we're all trying to exit town and there's no gas, no power.
Damn. That's pretty scary.
We're officially on day 10, 8 o'clock. It's about to get dark soon. we're all going through it, you know. It's not just me. We're all going through it. But let me tell you something. Gary, Indiana wasn't prepared for this. We don't have tornadoes. We don't have hurricane.
These are just neighborhoods. It's no lights. It's no power. But look at this. When I cut my lights off, why the you see that shit? It is pitch black.
So once again, we got some different shit going on with a tree in Florida. I ain't never seen no shit like this before. But once you go to that, what it look like is a motherfucking pyramid inside of a tree, dog. And it got markings on that motherfucker. How that get like that? How that get like that? That don't make sense. That don't make sense at all, dog. Not to me, it don't. Make the math on this one. Huh? You ever seen a pyramid-like structure inside of a tree? I don't even understand how that's possible. How? How is it inside of the tree, dog? Huh? Is this tree fake or some shit? And they just placed that on top of the pyramid to hide that? How, dog? I need some scientific genius to tell me how that pyramid got inside that tree. Don't be making up no bullshit because the math don't math with this. I've never seen no shit like this before in my life. How did that happen? Did you put some tree seeds around that, sprinkled it right on around that and just grew into them? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's what happened.
Probably.
Nothing but trees around that just so happened to grow on top of that. I guess. But if it was me and that was my crib, it's time to chop the tree down and dig in that yard and see what's in that motherfucker. You got a whole pyramid top in your backyard, dog. You need to see what's in that. Now, if it's some tombs in that, leave the tombs alone. Don't be on no mummy shit. Don't be yumming on no mummies. I'm trying to tell you, you better leave the moves alone too. Leave the jewelry alone, the diamonds, the gold, all that shit. Keep that shit there. I just want you to dig and see what's all under that dirt. Huh? I try to tell you, there's more pyramids in America than it is anywhere else in the world. But they don't like talking about that shit. They just try to make it seem like it's only in Egypt and shit like that. No. They all around us in America. North and South. Dog. But what do I know? I ain't no history professor. But I know a lot of these history professors is psyops anyway. I think it's cool that pyramid is in that tree, but I need to know how it got there, dog. And that is a big fact. Peace.
U.S. citizens are now being detained at the border for allegedly writing negative tweets about Israeli politicians. I'm not joking. Take a listen.
I was detained and questioned by the Department of Homeland Security yesterday for 3 hours about Israel. I returned yesterday from my trip to Lebanon, and through the passport line, they immediately took my passport, put it in a red folder, and said the DHS has to speak with you. Of course, I went. They didn't let me take my luggage. And when I get there, they start asking me questions about me, my family, my friends, where I went to high school. They wrote everything down. I'm not going to lie to them. They looked through my social medias, and then they asked me, have you ever doxed anyone? I said no. Have you ever doxed a politician? I said no. Have you ever said anything negative about an Israeli politician? I said yes. Now there's not one guy, now there's two guys, agents with the badges around their necks asking me questions, and they say, why would you do that? They were talking about a tweet about Ben-Gvir, an Israeli minister I made in April of 2026. They told me, do not do that again. Do not make a negative tweet about him. After about 30 minutes more of questioning, why would I criticize Ben-Gvir of the Israeli government? Took more information, my phone number, my email, my address, and then they said, do not do this again.
I'd be doing it like crazy.
Guys, what is happening? We got U.S. Border Patrol scolding Americans for writing bad tweets about Israeli politicians. Like, are we still sovereign?
That is pretty well hidden. There's probably so much crazier stuff than this hidden underground.
Brian has been practicing faithless Christianity, basically living as a Christian even though he's atheist, for 30 days to see if anything changes in his life. Well, this was day 20 and something happened. Watch.
I'm done pretending. I'm done pretending. You know, this is real, dude. Okay, first I gotta come clean. It's not actually day 20, it's day 20 of me filming. I've actually been doing this experiment for about 2 months. Today, you know, the retelling of the story catches up to present time. I'm a yoga instructor, right? I love yoga in the beginning for the first, I want to say, couple months. You're just going through the motions. Then I started to be like,
you know what? Let me lean into this practice. Let me really go in with an intention. Let me close my eyes. Let me really focus on my breath.
In that moment, I'm realizing it now, I had faith. That was faith. I took a leap of faith, and when I did that, the practice opened up for me. But it never touched my soul.
I never went to a yoga class and wanted to be kinder to a stranger that I saw on the street. 4 years of yoga, even being a yoga teacher, never did that.
3 months of reading the Bible, I am now kinder to strangers. 8 years of struggling against nicotine quietly faded away. There was no like big epiphany. For the past 2 weeks, I've started getting nightmares that will wake me up in the middle of the night. I haven't had that in like 20 years. But dude, that fear was humbling. I'm not a very fearful person. I experienced the fear of God, and more importantly, I experienced fear of being away from God. And I can't just pretend to need God. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. I'm done pretending. I'm done pretending. You know, this is real, dude. Jesus Christ is real. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I'm done pretending. I believe in this shit. You have to, like, at some point, you gotta make a decision. Like, it's a decision. You make it every day. Are you gonna try to explain this? Are you gonna attribute it to something? Or are you gonna let the Holy Spirit into your heart? Are you gonna believe in something bigger than you? Are you gonna believe that Jesus Christ is real and died for your sins on a cross? And then 3 days later, he rose from the dead. He conquered death. That's my guy, bro.
Our entire planet is run by a satanic, psychopathic cult. The Vatican is actually Luciferian. Here's a picture of Pope Francis with his staff. The exact same image is in Baphomet, which is a satanic entity. It's all in plain sight that the Vatican is Luciferian. This is the entrance to the auditorium, and you can see the 2 eyes and the fangs of a serpent. This artwork, this does not look very divine here. It looks very, very demonic. This is Jesus, who's in this structure. Now, if you look to one side, you see Jesus's face, but look at his hair closely. It's actually a reptilian face. They have done untold evil.
This is the mouse paradise, a scientific experiment from the 1960s. They made the perfect world for mice with unlimited food, safety, and no predators. In the beginning, they placed 4 females and 4 males and let them multiply. The population exploded, hundreds, then thousands. Then something strange happened. They stopped mating. And within 4 years, they were extinct. But why? According to scientists, the reason was social interaction overload, just like humans on social media today. They were in 24/7 interaction with thousands of others. Too much stimulation, too much competition for social status, and this led them to lose the ability to form bonds, to mate and raise their young. Many males became so-called the beautiful ones. They lost interest in females. They just groomed themselves all day and withdrew completely because they could not compete in this chaos anymore. And the females followed by losing interest in males. So no mating, and they all just died without having babies. Since 2010 smartphones, humans are living the same social interaction overload, 24/7 status competition, income and lifestyle comparison with thousands of others, physical looks to impossible standards. And many young people just choose to withdraw. For the first time in history, young people are having less than their parents. 30% of men under 30 had no sex for a year. Loneliness epidemic hits us harder than any virus could. You know, the mice couldn't turn this.
Shout out to you for your work. But there wasn't even a smidge of testosterone in this video. And it's so weird to exist in a society that looks at these people and they start cheering, they start clapping, they start crying, they start getting emotional, and they develop this parasocial bond through a screen with people they had never met before, and they don't even know what these people do to get put on stage, to get put into these positions, to looking like they're celebrities. But that's the thing with hybrid modifications when it comes down to gender inversion, genetic engineering, molecular biology, and whatever else. All these hidden sciences are why the occult are so powerful and what people are asleep to, and that power comes down from just your bliss. And peep the Masonic symbolism, anarchy, Project Monarch, or the butterfly effect, MK Ultra, basically, and hypnosis. So when the pendulum stops swinging within your awareness, you are not going to be in the motion of being open-minded into who you were before the fame came into your identity. Once these beings sign their nature over for fortune and status and validation to climb the upper echelon of just the degrees of masonry and whatever else, this is basically who they end up becoming, just a hollow shell of who they used to be. And people who used to be major fans of who this being was authentic with is no more. And the people who follow the character today are no more themselves either. That's why they relate to each other. That's why they listen to this being's music and they have no idea what they're placed under when they're playing it within their room, in their car, just wherever else that they feel comfortable playing it. That's how you know that these people are under their own spell casting. That's why you can't even trust people who listen to Playboy or Playgirl Cardi. And that's the inversion right there, thinking as if it's a boy when the entire time. What the gender to these mockeries or these blatant entities that are telling you that they're going to leech on your energy by making you think as if societal constructs matter. But in their realm, they don't even have a matter to materialize a gender that you are constructing or even feeling some kind of way about, because that's the problem. You feel some kind of way about who they told you were, and yet you can't be what they think you are. That's exactly why you don't know yourself till they came into your existence. But wait, they can't even exist, so how can they die? And if you keep on killing them or seeing them, then what is living in that present moment of what you keep on casting out? Because the casting of what you reflect is exactly why they're mirroring what you're under right now. These types of people work with the oppressor, and you want to join that? People know the bosses and the billionaires, quadrillionaires that are trafficking children, but they'll never say anything. That's exactly why they keep that vow of silence, because if they were to say anything about what they've seen, then the character will be no more. But wait a minute, because they're ancient vampires that prey on immortality, why would they go anywhere when you keep on making them up?
Okay guys, we've got some pretty horrific breaking news. Over 100 people are now confirmed dead after a gold mine collapsed and triggered a landslide in Central African Republic, which is near the border of Cameroon. Now, rescue operations are still underway with fears of many people still buried under the debris. A Red Cross volunteer said that every hour bodies are being discovered, increasing the number of victims. Now, according to local reports, this was triggered by tunnels linked to an unregulated mine which collapsed. An investigation is being opened to determine how and why this happened. So as soon as we know more, I'll keep you guys updated.
That's horrible. It's nuts how many, like, ice wall videos have been coming out over, like, the last year or two.
If I'm gay, everyone says Jesus hates gays.
Jesus doesn't hate gays.
Christian says that gays are sinners.
Jesus actually ate amongst the sinners, and he was around the gluttons. If I say gay's wrong, you know what else I gotta say is wrong? A man and a woman living together outside of marriage, I have to tell them the same thing.
Yeah.
That's wrong to me too.
It is.
So when it comes to that type of stuff, it's more so he loves the person, it's not necessarily the action.
It's like an unconditional love.
If we have kids, even though our kids do something really, really stupid, it doesn't mean we love them any less. Jesus does love you guys. He paid a price for you. He died the death that we all deserve. And he hung on the cross for the sins of all mankind. If he rose on the third day, defeating sin, death, and the grave, and he's coming back again, those who put trust and faith on what he did on that cross, we can have salvation through him. There isn't an expectation of you being perfect overnight. It's giving him a chance to lead you into that place. But see, if we have hurt and pain and believing that he hates us and stuff, nobody will ever give him a shot. But if he was standing right here, he would love y'all, man. He would love y'all. It's his love that transforms us, and he can change us. We can't change ourselves. himself, his love, but you got to give his love a chance. Can I say a simple prayer and let y'all go? Yeah. Father, I thank you for these girls that you love so much and you paid a big price for. My prayer is that they would know you the way that I know you, as a loving Father and as a loving Savior. I just pray blessings over them in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you.
Now that wasn't bad, was it?
So the fallen angels rebel against God, led by Azazel, Shemhaza, Satan. They come down to Mount Hermon and interface with Enoch. They teach men the ways of pharmacology, astrology, war, and sorcery. The divine beings mate with the daughters of men, producing the giants, Nephilim. And because of this, God sends a flood. And he chains these beings in Tartarus, in the dark abyss, the gloomy chasm. And the spirits of the dead giants, unable to go back into the eternal realm, become the demons that haunt the earth. Isn't it interesting? Now, this plot perfectly agrees with the Sumerian Apkallu, who come down, bestow knowledge upon men, leading to the power of Babylon, but ultimately Marduk does not like this, and he sends a flood to punish them. Isn't it interesting? Now, the Titanomachy has this exact same plot, where the Titans, sons of Uranus, revolt against their father, castrate him, and his blood drips across the ground, producing the giants, until Zeus, the Olympian, sends them into Tartarus. Zeus, Deus Pater, the sky father, Jupiter. Isn't it interesting how Zeus battles Typhon, which sounds eerily similar to Zaphon, as in Baal-Zephon, Lord of the North, the Canaanite Baal. Baal-Zephon, which of course becomes Beelzebub. Typhon is Set to the Egyptians, Set related to Saturn, Satan, Baal related to Kronos, the child-devouring gods. Isn't it interesting that Gilgamesh was described as partly divine, a mighty man like Nimrod who built the Tower of Babel? Isn't it interesting? The Babylonians credit a giant named Belus with building the Tower of Babel, who was the son of Kronos, Saturn, Satan, who many Second Temple Jews identified with Nimrod, given that Nimrod was the great-grandson of Noah through Ham and through Cush. Ham, who castrated his father Noah, just like Saturn castrated Uranus. Isn't it interesting that the story of the fall of Atlantis is the exact same thing, in which a divine bloodline diminishes amongst mortals? And just as Gilgamesh crosses the waters to find which contains the patriarch Utnapishtim, Noah, whom the Greeks called Deucalion, Hercules goes to the Garden of the Hesperides, where he finds Atlas, the king of Atlantis, who was part of the Titanic revolt against Uranus. Isn't it curious that Nimrod calls himself Baal and has a wife named Ishtar, and Ishtar is associated with Baal, Ishtar, like Atar, meaning the star, which is Venus, the morning star, the dawn star, i.e. Lucifer? And so Baal and Ishtar are like this, Baal, the bull-headed god, just like Taurus was ruled by Venus, Ishtar, Baal, Ishtar, till the age of Aries, which is ruled by the ram, which gives you the lamb of God, and the ram of Zeus, the inverse of which being the goat of Mendes, Benjabet, which becomes Baphomet, Pan, the goat-headed god, famous for his black Sabbaths, which has the satyrs, which are affiliated with Saturn. And so when Jesus goes to the land of Bashan where the Rephaim and the Amorites, the giants, were, and the bed of Og, which was the ziggurat associated with the Tower of Babel, and he said, upon this rock I shall build my church, and the gates of hell shall not stand. He is at Caesarea Philippi. He's at the foot of Mount Hermon. He is at demonic ground zero, calling his shot. And combined with the words of the prophets, Armageddon is a cosmic rematch between the Titans and the Olympians, Yahweh and Baal. If only you knew, man. This is a spiritual war.
Free shots for happy hour. Oh, no shotgunning from the bottle, bro. Wait till it's in the shot glass. There you go. Living in LA, everyone deserves to experience the nightlife at least once, including the little rascals. So since it's daytime and they normally disappear after sunset, I brought happy hour to them. Introducing Johnny's Nut Bar, which includes free shots brimmed with almond flour and ground flax. So let's see if the little rascals can enjoy happy hour without throwing hands. All right,
That's awesome.
These are unshelled. My man, no rear entrance, gotta come around. Bro, it's a shot, not a shower. What do you think? Don't be dramatic, man. It's just coconut water, no liquors in there. This little one's young, I should be checking your ID. Yeah, gotta work a little harder for the shelled ones. No, don't start. My bro's getting coconut water wasted. Let him eat. Why are you antagonizing him, Ken? See? You guys got unresolved issues, man. Oh, there goes the bar stool. Yo, that's only supposed to be for the rim of the shot glasses. All right, things are getting out of hand here. Bro, that's identical to how my eyes would look after 4 shots back in the day. Here we go, you two. No. Sorry, bro. Gotta cut you off. It's last call. Well, they clearly enjoyed it, but it turns out the bar scene is a bar scene no matter what the species, and exactly why I choose to stay away from it.
Have you seen this video? Freemasons don't let you wear any metals during their rituals, because metals like gold, silver, and copper help you protect yourself from electromagnetic influences. Each degree of Freemasonry has a specific ritual where they open up your lodge. They call your body a lodge because it is the temple of consciousness. and your lodge has 7 chakras or energy vortex centers which hold immense power. During the ritual, the initiate is stood in the middle and the other masons around him direct mental energy to open up the lodge. And what this does is activate the chakras in your energetic etheric body. As you ascend up the degrees of Freemasonry, they open up more and more of these centers. The strict rule is to never wear any metals or else the ritual can go wrong. Because if the initiate is wearing metals, the ritual will not be done properly. I've read many documents of experiences of Freemasons during initiations, and they have said that they felt a very intense vortex energy warping around them during their initiations. I've done a lot of research on this topic, and anything that I find I will continue to share.
Yeah, I've actually seen a few clips recently and posted one, I believe, in the last video of soldiers in uniform saying, like, they did not sign up for this. They want no part of it.
Hollywood is collapsing. As you know, ever since I've left, Hollywood has gone all wrong. Probably because of old Russ. We all saw me and Arthur. I will do no such thing. I'm going to remain here and box with Evander. Then I shall have my music lesson with Kanye West as planned. Brilliant acting. Especially Nick Nolte was grabbing me by the nutbag and hurting me real bad.
That's funny considering Russell is a biological female, I'll say in my opinion. But if you've watched the video on Wizard's Fishbowl, there's a lot of reasons why I believe that.
Notice I just let that slide. Let's face it, Hollywood is the agency of Satan. Its function, whether they know it or not, they probably don't know this, is to amplify ideas that cause division, suffering, commodification, objectification, these kind of things. That's what it's for. And it just blows my mind. Me and Jake spoke about this at length. Like, it was a film about Hollywood and about the hopeless, senseless narcissism and emptiness and shallowness of Hollywood is made by Hollywood. Like, so all those people, it's really confusing. Hollywood's not there to create jobs and opportunities. It's there as a propaganda unit. Look at the relationships they have with the CIA. Look at the relationships they have with the military. CIA place operatives within all major... I mean, it's just a cast iron, deep, stone cold fact that Hollywood has CIA operatives within it, and the messaging, as you know, Babylonians.
Don't buy that crap.
A warning to parents, especially if you have kids, car keys, and a cell phone. And why do I say that? Because a young girl decided it would be a great idea to take mommy's cell phone, car keys, and go sit in the car and let everybody know that she can drive. Have a look at this wild video for yourself. I can drive. Listen,
oh, wow.
It's adorable, isn't it? And it's scary as well.
Oh, that's it.
Parents, you need to pay attention to this. This could be your child. And if you're a kid watching this video, do not do this. Do not attempt this.
Come on.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing in my car?
Luckily for her, her mom was very close by. But parents, please, keep an eye on your children, hide the car keys, and make sure the vehicle is locked at all times.
That made me nervous.
If mommy wasn't there to save the little girl, this could have been very, very dangerous. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Is anybody else's newsfeed completely filled with stories about this El Nino event that's going to happen? Apparently, the biggest El Nino event in recorded history. And a lot of people are bringing up the last one that happened in 1876 when there was drought and famine, and it contributed to over 50 million deaths. It was about 4% of the world's population at the time. Now, there's a little bit that they forgot to mention when they were talking about this last El Nino event in 1876. You see, El Nino didn't kill all those people in 1876. I mean, yes, there was devastating droughts and crop failures, but in British-controlled India, people were literally starving whilst grain was still being exported. And there was a hell load of politics and poverty and food prices and colonial policies that contributed to it turning from a natural disaster into a human catastrophe. And that is the part that they don't really want you to know about. You know, they want you looking at the fact that it's a natural catastrophe. You know, they want you to think that this is all global warming and we should all be feared from the earth reacting and maybe killing us all. But in reality, back then in 1876, it wasn't actually the weather that killed the 50 million people. And, you know, if you look at the world right now, you've got farmers struggling, wars are disrupting food production and trade and shipping routes, and supply chains are being blocked overnight. Ultimately, a massive amount of the world's food depends on political and economic decisions. So, what happens if you throw a genuinely extreme El Nino on top of everything that's happening right now in 2026? I mean, I don't know. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, a drought can destroy a harvest, but human decisions can decide whether people actually get fed. And in this world right now, there's a lot of poverty, starvation, and destruction that if, you know, implemented with an El Nino event, I can only imagine there would be a lot more deaths than there should be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, beautiful people. And as always, just for entertainment, I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
Instagram is trying to silence this reel, and every time I post it, they are literally trying to take the sound. This is a former casting director for Hollywood, Nickelodeon, Disney, talking about child actors like Hayden Panettiere, and it is an eye-opening must-watch for every parent.
Because in my opinion, and this is just my humble opinion about Hayden Panettiere, as a former casting director, I know a lot of you guys are sick of me saying that, but this is a part of my story and who I am. I used to cast kids for Disney Channel and Nickelodeon. I used to discover kids across the country. I would fly from city to city and meet little young kids. I then became a very, very popular acting coach here in Los Angeles. And moms and dads from all over the country and world would pay me copious amounts of money so that I could sit and work with their kids and get them ready for auditions or get them ready to find an agent. This is literally what I did for 15 years of my life before I do what I do now. Hollywood for children, and I say this with love because I know a lot of my friends are still casting directors and agents and need to find kids for things all the time, is actually demonic. You cannot put your kids into this industry without assuming that something bad will happen to either your family, your relationships, their health, their struggles, their inner dialogue. This is a horrible, horrible world for kids. Now, if you're an adult actor, do whatever the F you want when you do like local theater, musical theater, acting class for fun. Like if you love to do that, I'm all for that. But trying to push your kid into Hollywood, which is essentially like everyone thinks it's so fun. It's hell. But why do they do it? I'm just going to throw this out there, and I'm really sorry to do this. Sometimes you do have a kid that is desperate and dying and can't imagine doing anything else. I have met those kids. Okay. There are kids out there that like, that's all they want to do. And then there's kids out there that they know they're making mommy proud. They know that they're making mommy happy. And when you're a young kid, all you want is to make mommy happy.
When you start moving in a higher consciousness and you're helping bring other people up into a higher consciousness, you are going to face resistance. I've made videos before on unseen entities or demons that come and whisper in your mind, disguising themselves in your voice, sounding like one of your many thoughts, trying to get you to believe or identify with something negative about yourself or about your life. Now, when these entities, they can't get you to sabotage yourself, what they'll often do is they'll act through other people. who have certain blind spots in their consciousness, certain sins that they engage in and justify, or they just live in a certain low frequency, these individuals will become vessels for these entities, and they will act out onto you to try to get you to either think you're crazy, you don't know what you're doing, you should stop, you should give up, you should go down a path that's not aligned for you. You need to be mindful of this. When you're moving in a high frequency state and you're truly shining and glowing, you're going to bring out the darkness in those who are harboring it. You will bring up people's insecurities, people's pain, people's unresolved trauma, and the entities that are attached to those things as a byproduct of them not being resolved. So they'll come out onto you in perhaps very subtle, manipulative ways, or just outright in your face kinds of ways. You just need to pay attention to this. Don't look at the person, it's the spirit that's acting through them. People can genuinely be possessed by certain frequencies when they have these blind spots in their consciousness, certain sins that they engage in and justify, or they simply have very low frequency habits. And they might come out onto you when you start shining that light. It could be friends, it could be family members, it could be coworkers, it could be strangers on the internet. I just want you to understand that when you start getting all this resistance, it's a sign you're doing something right. Because if you weren't really shining, if you weren't moving in a higher frequency, if you weren't helping uplift other beings to help them raise their consciousness, you wouldn't face that resistance.
I really like the way this dude talks.
You wouldn't have these entities acting through other vessels, trying to convince you you're crazy, or gaslighting you, or manipulating you, or trying to get you to question yourself, or give up, or get you to do things that aren't good for you. It's a sign you're doing the right thing. You will face this resistance. Don't think there's something wrong with you. Rather, just see it as a confirmation. The darkness is being exposed by the light that you are embodying. And let me just say this too, a high vibration is immunity. When you keep your frequency up, it's like you have a force field around you. You also gain a level of discernment. You can see through manipulation, lies, sneaky behavior. You can feel and sense the entities that are acting through people when you're moving in a higher consciousness. So when your frequency inevitably drops, which it always will, that's part of being human, when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you feel overwhelmed, these are often the times they'll attack you the hardest, when you're in the lowest frequency. You need to understand positive actions that allow you to raise your frequency, allow you to not only see them, see the darkness when it's acting through people or even trying to act through you, but also it grants you a certain level of confidence in what you're doing. You can own yourself because you earn this spiritual power, this spiritual high, if you will, from the source for acting in alignment with what you're meant to be doing. Now, if you need help establishing a consistent process that allows you to move in a higher baseline frequency, granting you that immunity, I can help you. For structure, start with the higher self rebuilds. For more direct accountability, book a discovery call with me. Link in my bio.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. If you made it to the end, I appreciate it very much, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Peace.